Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Get Energized podcast, the show where leaders are dropped into the hot seat and open up about high stake wins and reveal the trust behind the triumphs. I'm your host, Scott Carley, the Trust Energizer, and I believe the confidence people have in your character and your expertise is the real game changer. When trust is strong, teams don't just perform, they pull off the impossible. Today's guest is Scott Schiller of Platinum Wealth Solutions in Austin, Texas. He has firsthand what it takes to build high trust culture and deliver big. Scott, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. So
Yeah.
tell our audience what you do and who you serve.
Thank you, Scott. So what I do is I'm a certified financial planner. I pride myself on being a true financial planning expert, and I do so for most of my clients are millennial professionals, and I have clients in other generations, of course, but that's my main group. And so, one of the most often questions I get is what is okay, so most of us have heard of what a financial advisor is, but what is a financial planner exactly, right? What's the
Oh,
difference, right? And so to answer that in a short way is, a financial planner is their job is to know as much or as all of your financial situation as possible as you're willing to share with them and help you with life's big financial decisions. We're all faced with big financial decisions, whether we have a professional helping us or not. And a financial planner is there to really be involved and know everything, know the right hand talking to the left hand, this account over here, this account over there, and really your complete financial picture. What a financial advisor is there for is it could be limited to just one account or one thing, such as retirement or college planning, something like that. A financial planner does everything a financial advisor does, and then some, and really just helps you be there for those big decisions.
and I bet you've got some certifications and all that.
I do have the certified financial planner designation that I acquired years back, and very proud of it. It's one in every three financial planners has the designation, so it's very popular. But it's one that it really shows the dedication and the commitment. This is somebody who's paid a bunch of money and spent a ton of time studying and and passed a very difficult exam, and
Yeah.
also does the continuing education and keeps up with it.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I call a subject matter expert, and I'm glad to hear you have those certifications. I like what you said too about being a planner. Somebody told me a long time ago, hope is not a strategy, and planning is a strategy. So it makes me feel good to know that you've got that interest and that designation. So I want to ask you some questions today, and anytime uh, a customer comes to you, a client, and they're thinking about working with you, they're asking some questions about, can I trust Scott? Which is, of course, the title of my book, and it's what this podcast is all about. Can I trust you, Scott? And so the first question is, what's the wildest, highest stake challenge you or your team ever faced where failure would have been a total disaster?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I appreciate that question. So, super high stakes. This one will be about emotional stakes. Okay. So a lot of helping clients in dealing with situations as they're centered around emotions. Okay. So, and so I'll give you one example. I had a client come to me from a friend of mine who had this particular person had lost their spouse. Their husband had passed away unexpectedly, and they've got young children, and the level was very, very high. And for a lot of reasons, but when came to my role of helping them with their family with the financial decisions, it was just all of it was wrapped into one big emotional mess, really. And so my main challenge was to do what I always do, which is never rush anything. There's really no such thing as just an immediate emergency we need to handle. That unless unless it's dealing with estate planning, such as getting a will, maybe something like that might be the only situation where it's like, okay, we do need to do this like soon. Outside of very specific circumstances, Scott, we need to make decisions in a calm, cool manner. We don't want to rush into things. And so for this particular one, I made sure that in the first meeting, when I'm first having conversations with them, it's really about, okay, let's kind of sift through this. And my main goal and what I consider high stakes for me was making sure that because it was such an emotionally charged situation, that I was doing everything I could do to help and to remove as much of the pain and stress as possible going on, which was significant at that time. So, part of it was just around what I normally do with clients and asking open-ended questions about what's important to them and what was so fearful in that situation, and really what I was able to accomplish towards the end of that first meeting, which was what they really needed to hear in the end was, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. We're going to put together a great plan for you. Your kids are going to be okay. You're going to be okay. It's all going to work out. I'm going to do everything I can for you to make sure we get everything put together for you. And we're going to get it done, and we'll get it done on your timeline. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were in. A lot of times people sit down with a financial advisor too, Scott. It's an intimidating process for a lot of people, and it makes sense as to why. And so that's why I'm cognizant of that. And a lot of times I congratulate them. Hey, I'm glad you came to me. I think it's a certain amount of courage to come in here and have this conversation about what is a deeply personal subject matter, which is your money. So it's not easy just to open up and talk to someone
Yeah,
about
and some people just
it.
they just don't know how to talk about their money. They especially when they're in turmoil and they're upset and it's they don't know what questions to ask. And sometimes that's part of your responsibility, which leads us really to the next level of the podcast. I'm going to ask you about 8 questions, and these are the questions that people have in their mind consciously or unconsciously when they come to you. Sometimes they'll verbalize them, sometimes they won't, sometimes it's just bubbling just under their breath, and they may not even realize it, but they're still there. And the first question is real simple. Scott, do you understand my financial goals, dreams, and fears? Are you building a plan tailored to my life or just dropping me into a generic portfolio somewhere?
Right. Yeah. And that was one of the many takeaways from your book, Scott, was, as I was reading it, I was thinking about, of course, my profession and what I'm doing. And, so how handy would it be if somebody would I would sit down with somebody and they would flat out ask me, hey, can I trust you? Of course,
Yeah.
that would be super convenient for me. They'll never ask that. No one's ever asked me that. But of course, that is exactly what they're thinking. And that is why. So I belong to a firm of financial advisors, and we have developed over a long period of time a planning process. And part of that process is in the very beginning, before we talk about numbers or anything else, some of the very first questions I ask are, please share with me what is most important to you. And that could necessarily mean their life, their money, anything. And so that way I can get to know them and have an understanding of where they're coming from before we even get anywhere near any talking about specifics about, what kind of returns or out portfolio allocations or anything of that nature. And so I believe, that's what I would want to be asked, certainly if I'm considering hiring a professional, is are they demonstrating care? Are they
Yeah,
willing to
because
take the time?
usually people have some kind of goal, and in their mind they have something that they're going towards, and for you to ask that question is just opening it up, right there at the very beginning. Tell me what is the most important to you. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And so, and I don't use generic portfolios. And to answer another part of your question, absolutely yes. Every plan is a little bit different. Everything is different for each client, of course. No two clients are one and the same. But yeah, as far as the particular plan will absolutely be tailored to that person, and it's over a series of meetings and over a course of a process of how we develop it. And then here's the great thing too: a financial plan is a living, breathing thing. It's under constant change, and so we do at least quarterly reviews, if not even more frequent. And so it's something that we'll need to continuously update. It's not just here's one thing, let's do it, and then we're done. Yeah.
Yeah, as those kids grow up, or she remarries, sometimes things will change. It has to be fluid to some degree.
You'd be
So
shocked to see how much changes in 3 months. It's pretty amazing. You would think you think it, well, not too much. It's actually quite a bit. I mean, people sell and they'll sell their house. The markets will change the account values, that's for sure. And then you have different goals that we've set, both short-term goals and long-term goals. And so as the short-term goals, well, we're 3 months into them. So let's see where we are. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So the second question, are you motivated by my long-term success or just your commissions? Are you acting as a fiduciary, putting my needs first, or are you pushing products that will benefit you? Tell me about that. People are
Yeah.
asking those questions.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's probably the best question. If you could just pick one question to ask a financial advisor, and I've done videos, put this on my channel, education, right? What is a fiduciary, right? What even is it? It's
Yeah.
just such a wacky term. And so, in the end, what it is, the definition of it is someone who's in a position of trust, someone who will put their interest ahead of your own. So to answer your question, absolutely yes, I am a real, actual fiduciary, both in legal terms, both in how I present myself in my business, and then, of course, even more important, how I actually act with clients and do things. That third piece is what you typically don't always find in financial services. Unfortunately, most places can hold themselves out legally as a fiduciary, but when you really boil it down, really get into it, it's like, kind of only somewhat, not all the way. And so, my business and the way I've set it up, Scott, is absolutely 100% all the way. Anything we ever do is always in your best interest. Um, will I earn revenue? Yes, absolutely. Will you know about it? Absolutely. I'm going to show you every cost, everything you're going to know. There's going to be absolutely no doubt in your mind whatsoever as to what is occurring from a cost standpoint, what I'm earning, and everything along those lines. As far as products goes, so what you typically are going to have for financial advisors is typically one of two. Actually, I'll give you a third one, but one of two. One is, okay, I do commission work, right? We sell a product and the company pays the advisor a commission. The second group is what you'll see is fee-based or advisory fee-based, which is, okay, they're charging some kind of assets under management advisory fee from your account. It's typically 1% is kind of the industry standard, could be higher, could be lower. And then the third is an hourly fee by the hour planning model. Okay. I operate under all three. So I can pivot to any one of the three, and it's whatever's in our best interest. Because sometimes commissions is like this scary word. It's like it's always the worst. It's not always the case. There are situations that I've seen, and I've surprised myself that a commission product was in the best interest of the client. And so I was in a position to be able to do that for them. And so, you know, um, anything I ever do is that way. And then as far as building my business, I am super upfront. When I am excited to have a client come in, I'll tell them right off the bat, I really, really want you to become a client for life. Okay, for life. I don't want, I want to serve you as best I can. I don't want you to ever leave. If you leave, I mean, it's your choice, of course. I'd be sad to have it happen. But really, I want you to be a client with me for life. I'm always going to act in your best interest. And the burden is always going to be on my side to make sure that I'm performing the service that you expect. Because if I don't, I'm running the chances you're going to leave to any other advisor out there. And so,
Yeah.
I like that position for them. That's what I would want to be in as the client, which is, hey, you got to keep me happy, otherwise I'm out of here. And
Yeah.
so that's what I do.
Well, I like your answer and I like the question because the question is all about motives and intentions and are your intentions self-serving? Are they client-serving? And what I heard you say was it's a client. It's you want to serve them and your intentions are to help them. And when you help them, then it works for you. And I like what you said about, hey, this is a commission-based product. And it's easy to just be upfront about that. Here's what you're getting, and you're probably able to discern pretty quick when people want to know that. And after a while, when trust really builds, they don't. they're not worried about knowing that anymore. What they're worried, they're not worried. They trust you. Your trust credit score is so high, they trust you that you're making the right decisions for their investments and what you're doing. You still have uh, meetings where you go over stuff, but it's that's what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is you're trying to build a trust-based relationship so that you can do your job and they can go do whatever they want to while you're just doing your job. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, absolutely. Yeah. The whole idea too is the fun part for me is once they have, and for them too, once for my clients, once they have a financial plan in place and they trust me and we have an ongoing relationship going, their stress level can go way down. They don't have to worry about this kind of stuff anymore, and
Yeah.
financial stress it's a big one. And so that's part of my pride and just enjoyment as well is knowing that they can go and live their lives. And also just to get on, not on a side note here, Scott, is also, part of what's great about having a financial plan is is misunderstood in a way that, oh no, I don't want to have all these plans because then I won't be able to buy the things I want to buy, right? Today. And that is the opposite of my message, which is we want to have financial plans so you can buy the stuff you can afford to buy. We got to live. We're alive today. We got to live for now. We got to live for tomorrow too. So there's got to be a balance between the two. And I sense relief in their voice and see their shoulders drop somewhat whenever I share that. I'm like, this isn't all about tomorrow. This is about getting the things you want to buy today. I'm never going to
Right.
be like, don't buy those shoes or don't buy the makeup you want to buy. Please, I want you to have what you want. And at the same time, we also have goals down the road. So let's create a balance.
Yeah. And you can probably get to know your clients well enough to know that they have, over a period of a few years, they have tendencies and habits. And so you are able to plan how you invest their portfolio based in how much cash they're going to need every now and then. And so you've got some cash it's pretty easy to get to, and they're not having to be worried about losing some things because you have a plan. And you know that college is coming up. You know that graduations are coming up. You know that other things are coming along. I think that that's just what's so cool about having a financial consultant and wealth builder who y'all know each other so that this is not a vending machine and it's not a 1-800 number. It is a person that knows me, knows something about my family. I like that. So this next
Yeah.
question, really, we sort of covered it, but number three is, will you be upfront and transparent about fees, risk, and trade-offs? Am I getting the full picture or will there be hidden costs that I found out about later? I think you've already answered that. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, no, and I like the way you phrased it. Am I going to find out about that later? Yeah, so that would never happen with me. My goal is to never allow that to occur. Okay. The last thing I would want somebody to leave thinking, oh, wait, did he tell me did he tell me everything I needed to know there? Or what's this cost? He didn't tell me about this cost, right? That would be dead last on my list of things I would want them to be thinking and seeing. So I do everything I can do to avoid that, which is whenever we open an account or actually transact and do business, and they're going to pay me, whether it be the fee or the commission or the hourly, whatever it may be, that they absolutely know what that is, where to see it, where it's on a statement, no, nothing hidden. It's always there. And then when we sit down and review things, I can remind them of it too. And I don't, part of what you want to make sure, okay, you want to make sure you're getting value for what you're paying for because it's not free. Okay. So just because it might be on a statement or it's a fee here or in the sense of a commission, you actually don't see it. Okay. So people think that that's kind of free-ish, right? But it's not true, right? There is a cost there. And so it's important that they know that and that way they're seeing the value of what they're paying for.
Yeah.
But oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. There is full transparency here.
Yeah, I love that because there are some things that are renewable, and I don't know, and I don't know how much of your stuff that there is an annual renewal for some things. I know that we've just been in this house a year, and so there's a bunch of things that are up for the 1 year renewals, and oh my word, all these things are coming at me. Well, I don't find that with financial advisor, but when people just let you know, just FYI, there's an annual renewal or an annual whatever, then you just know about it. And it's if you can ask questions about it. So let's go to question number 4. Scott, can you stay calm and guide me when markets are shaky or I panic? Will you bring clarity, confidence, and leadership presence when I need it most?
Okay, absolutely. Great question here. And so this really gets to the heart of the value that a financial planner or financial advisor is going to bring to you, okay? And it which is this exact moment and what you just described, Scott. And so to answer the question, yes, and for a lot of reasons. When we think about investment returns and what most of the conversation is always centered around, whether it be on social media and conversations and even in financial education, it's almost all of the energy and focus is on investment selection. Which fund should I buy? Should I buy this fund, this stock, this thing, this crypto, whatever it is? It's so much is centered around investment selection. And investment selection is important. And it's something that I do and I spend a lot of time on. However, what's misunderstood, and even to this day, and this is 100 years old, which is most of our returns actually don't come from investment selection. They come from our behaviors. And having an unemotional third party, such as myself, there to be your guide, I can really help in those times of panic when everything is red. You turn on the news, it's always bad. It's all bad. Everything you're hearing is the world is going to end. And oh my gosh, I've worked so hard to build up my business and I just sold it last year, Scott, or I've worked so many years to build up my 401k and now it's all just disappearing. And so it's just our human emotion and we can't help it. Doesn't matter the intelligence level either. In fact, our
Yeah.
intelligence works against us in this. The higher the intelligence, it actually is a detriment here, which is okay. Let me make that emotional decision and pull out of the market, or make some type of change that's going to be not in our best interest. And so, anytime I'm putting together any kind of stock based or anything that I'm going to recommend as an investment where there's a chance we could have a loss in a period of time, that is really going to be geared towards a time framed goal. So such as long term, such as something like retirement or something that we don't need right now. And so that way, when, like, for example, earlier this year, when we're going through all of the market turmoil that we saw earlier in the year, I'm very proactive too. I don't wait for people to call me. I'll call out and they'll be hearing from me before they even get to that point. But it's a conversation about, just quick reminder about our goals, about our plans. None of this changes our plans. Our plans are not changed. When we invest in the stock market or in things that can go down, we built in this. We built in the chance that there could be an immediate drop right after I open the account. We had this conversation, and just a quick reminder that we're all okay, everything's all good, and we're still on track. And if anything, maybe we get to a point where or it's always helpful in this situation too when we're adding to the account. So someone's contributing to their 401k or their IRA or something like that, Scott, too, because then I can add to the reminder that, hey, remember, we're buying in, we're buyers, right? We're still buying.
Right.
But if someone were in a retirement phase, then we would have already de-risked and pulled the risk down to a point where something like that market downturn were to occur, we're not going to feel it. It's not going to mess up our income stream. It's not going to ruin our goal. It's not going to mess up the travel plans that we had and things like that.
You mean you're not doing a day trader idea?
I don't
Just
do any day trading. I don't, in fact, I really don't do a lot of individual stock trading at all. It really,
you
it's
mean you don't have a
again,
million of my dollars into day trading and now it's up, it's down, and I won't. We'll just go away from that.
no,
Just thought that
no,
was
thank you.
funny.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
thank you. No,
yeah.
because yeah, and the reason why now, if there was a upside advantage to that, I'd potentially consider it. But there's been study after study after study that has empirically proven that when we're talking about the average investor owning individual stocks, certainly day trading stocks, long term, the chances of outperforming the broad-based, easy, low-cost indexes is almost zero. And so why try to beat something we know we
Yeah.
can't? Why play a game we can't win?
That's a toy that somebody might want to play with, but just not with your retirement and
Yeah,
your wealth. So this brings
yeah.
me to the fifth question, which is, and I think is a good one too. You've kind of addressed it. Fifth question is, do you have a track record of helping clients like me succeed over time? What stories or outcomes prove you can actually deliver long-term results?
Yeah, so this is I'm working on my 19th year in financial services. I held
Wow.
a bunch of different roles. I've been in private practice now, so it's going on my fourth year. And so I don't have a huge track record of being able to say with accuracy, okay, I was able to guide somebody through a 20-year retirement specifically. Okay. Now, aside from that, my track record of ethical behavior, doing the right thing, having a great reputation, and a diverse background in seeing this business, the financial advisory business from the outside, was really giving me a tremendous amount of experience. And so,
Well, over the last 19 years, you're creating a track record, probably more than you realize, the funds that you have made for money in one way or another. And so I think it's good for people to just to be able to say, okay, we'll measure it the first where we are, and let's see where we are in 5 years, and let me show you people that we've done that with. So I think there's probably more to it than you realize even, but people they just like to know about track records. So that was good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, any portfolios that we put together, they'll be long term. They'll have long term histories that we'll be able to look at. And one thing too is a note, just for fun, if you wanted to ever check up on your financial advisors, I call it kind of joking around, kind of their rap sheet, is you can go to FINRAbrokercheck.com. FINRA is the financial regulatory authority that is self-regulatory, a regulator for financial advisors, and punch in anybody's name, punch in my name, and I'll go back and I'll show you, nearly 20 years. And if I were to ever have gotten in trouble, had any kind of issue, had a complaint or something like that, it's going to show up there. And so that's just something it's a due diligence. Good idea on due diligence.
Sounds
Takes
like a
5 minutes. It's
Sounds like
like
a
a car,
Carfax for financial advisors. I like
the
that.
better, much better way to put it. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. All that has been all I love this. I love the way you're answering these questions and helping us help anybody to answer that question in their mind. Can I trust Scott? Can I trust him with my finances? So being with a firm or independent, but being a financial, you said not advisor, would you call it a financial planner?
Uh, Planner. Uh-huh.
So, as a financial planner, let's go into a couple of bonus questions, and we have a few more minutes left. Um, you have to have a team. And when you have an elite, high trust financial team, they can help you be more effective at what you do so that your clients can get the greatest benefit. And I have a list of some things that financial planners like you have to use, whether they're in-house or whether they're somebody you're indirectly connected to. And those are things like a certified tax advisor, CPL, CPAs, estate planning attorneys. You talked about if somebody passes away or they're putting a will together, insurance specialists who can give you the right advice about life and disability and long-term care, investment and research analysts who can look at what investments, um, what their dividends pay, if they even do pay dividends, or which ones are which, and then a succession or business planning expert. So, thinking about those five or four or five specialties, do you have a list of people that you go to that meet some of these criteria? How do you find that team to help you get where you need to go with your clients?
Oh, absolutely. And so, yeah, and that's through experience as well. And so, yes, absolutely. And I might be a sole practitioner in private practice here, but it's very important. I need a team around me for sure. Now, most people have a CPA in place, or a tax preparer. And if they do, then I do ask their permission to see if, go ahead and contact them and create a relationship with them.
That's a good
Because
idea.
that's what you want as a client. You want your certified financial planner and your CPA, you want those two people talking to each other, strategizing on your behalf. And it's really, really great. So I do a lot of things to make the CPA's life as easy as possible for the return. And so it's really a three-part thing. And then, one of the messages I goal to get out there is for the super wealthy, they set up what's called the family office, which is its own entity, which gives them, all types of access to investing and handles the taxes and handles the
What is the
estate
super
planning.
wealthy? Give me a number. What is that number?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It would be, somebody that has a net worth of like 25 million or more, would be
I'm
guided
just
in
under
towards,
that. I'm just
yeah, of
under that.
course. Of course. So we're talking about like the 1% of 1%. So then the begs the question, what do the rest of us do, right? And the message I deliver out there is that what we ultimately want to do, regardless of how much money, you could have negative $1 million, doesn't matter, is to set up your own personal family office, right? So the idea behind a family office is three things, which is one is a place where a professional where we can get official tax advice. Okay. So I can't actually give tax advice specifically. An
Thank
estate planning
you for
attorney,
saying that. Thank you for saying that because some want to. And it just is so much better when you say, that's not something I can do. I'm skilled here. I'm not skilled there. I love that.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. I could do tax planning and certain things, but as far as like the official tax advice, we're gonna need that from our CPA or our enrolled agent or our tax professional. Okay. But they are in a capacity to give official tax advice, right? And then and I also can't give official legal advice either, Scott. So we need someone that can give us legal advice, and that may be for most people out there, that just may be a simple will. And so that's our estate planning attorney. For others, it's going to be a trust and different things. And so I do have contacts, CPAs and estate planning attorneys that I do work with that I can refer and recommend and get them in touch with if they don't already have one in place. And then I'm the third piece, which is I give official investment advice. So you have your
Right.
investment side, your legal side, and your tax side. And so it is very important that I have all three in not necessarily just one go-to. So for the estate planning side specifically, I have, just to give you an example, I have three things, which is, if we just need a basic will and our goal is to keep our cost as low as possible at the same time, we can go to LegalZoom.com, or there's another website called ethos.com, and we can set up a basic will for $150. Up to I have another contact where he is an estate planning attorney and he does very basic simple wills, and he can do them for about $400 or $500. And then I have another place where it's the high end. We can do the full trust, the full medical directive, the full will, everything, and that's where we get up into the $2,000 to $3,000 range. And so wherever we are for the client, we can talk about any one of the three. Then same thing with the estate planning attorney. With life and disability planning, I that's really where I can help with that. That's my job. However, with insurance, property and casualty, your homeowner's insurance, your car insurance, any other assets that you're insuring, I don't handle that. And so I do have two that I work with closely that it's important that we go ahead and shop it out. Let's just make sure we're not overpaying for our insurances, and there's a chance maybe we can save some money, maybe not, for the
Yeah,
same
I love
coverages.
that. Again, I love all of this, because some of what we found, and those of you that are listening, you found the same thing. I don't always want the cheapest. I want to make sure that what I got was the best for me. And sometimes the best for me wasn't the least expensive. And for you to have people who, again, the team that you work with also is that elite high trust team who has our best interest, the customer's best interest at heart. So again, it's, we are going to find you the best price, the best value, and we'll have the conversation. You'll make the final decision about what you want. But here's the options, and these aren't people, and I'm about to date myself, that I found in the yellow pages that
Right,
I just
right.
had to go on some internet site and say, I need a legal attorney. I need a insurance specialist. But you already have a group of people that are experts. They're experts. So I love that. I love what I'm hearing here. And I think you have answered the question that everybody has. Can I trust Scott Schiller to manage my wealth and to keep me on track and have my best interest at heart? I think you have answered that today. Um, do you have anything else you want to wrap up with as a closing thought about you and why people can trust you?
No, Scott, I appreciate it. No, they absolutely can, certainly when it comes to their financial planning. Now, when it comes, if you need someone out there to sing or dance for you, I'm not your guy. Okay. I don't do any of those things. This is my one, I joke around. Okay. It's my one skill that I've spent a great deal of time on, and just very passionate about it. And I just absolutely love it. So when I have a chance to help somebody, take full advantage of it and really enjoy it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Scott, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way for them to find you and say, "Will you be my guy"?
Yeah, easy way. Real quick, they can call me, they can email me, or they can just simply go to my website. It's schillerwealth.com and set up their discovery call. Come and see me. We can talk. We can do it virtual, whatever's best for them. We can get the conversation started. My direct number is 512-791-8910.
Yeah, that's great. So texting, calling, get in touch with Scott Schiller. This is a man you can trust with your financial planning, not just financial advice, but financial planning. And what he can't do, he has a team that can do. So, would you like to sit in the hot seat yourself or use this tool to market your expertise and raise your trust with prospects? Visit trustenergizer.com and check out the Hot Seat Trust Certified Pro interview package. You'll walk away with a personal trust profile, a podcast episode, and the most powerful sales tool that your reputation ever had. My name is Scott Carley, the Trust Energizer, and we want to thank you for being with us today. Come back and see us again next week.